Hey, welcome back to the Amazing Freedom Podcast. My name is Nate Slamans, joined by Andy Slamans in ABS. Today, we are talking about the beginning steps of our journey, how we were able to build cash flowing businesses that got us to the point now where we are able to invest in six-figure brands in order to start them, how we're able to do our $10 million challenge. When we hear that, oftentimes we try to go back to the beginning and remember what got us to where we're at today. And if you've been listening to the podcast, if you've been following us in our $10 million challenge, we just recently gave an update on where we're at a couple weeks ago through the first 5 months of the year, first 5-6 months, and where we're at now. But if you're watching that, you might be saying, okay, I get that, but how do I get started? How do I first sell my first products? How do I start making enough money where I feel like I can do this, where it's a reality and that I can risk the money to get started? And Andy, that's what I wanted to start with today. I know that sometimes it can look like overnight that you're able to get to the $10 million challenge, but you've been selling on Amazon for quite a while, and it's really been a journey right along the way. So let's talk about, as we get into our freedom plan and some of the key things that we look at when we're building our career path and our business. We have these principles that we try to operate from a financial principle standpoint. And one of the keys of our freedom plan is building a cash flowing business. So Andy, kick us off. How did you get started? What did this look like in the beginning when you were trying to get started on Amazon and build enough cash flow that you felt comfortable to keep selling, to go full time, and then start your own brand?
For me, I've shared this before. I was really nervous because I had never ventured off in any type of business venture before. Again, primarily, I had a mission-based mission goal for my life. I worked, early on in a church, and then worked at an organization that worked with at-risk kids, and that's all I really wanted to do. And so for me, it was very nerve-wracking. And then pile on top of that, 2 years prior to the jumping part when I started selling on Amazon, my wife and I were like deep in financial debt, right? And so, and it was really all because of decisions that we made. It wasn't like anything that happened in the economy or anything. We just really made some dumb decisions. And so now we had climbed out of that. And then we saw like, hey, look, we're not going to be able to enter into the goals that we have when we hit 50, when we hit 60, if we continue doing what we're doing now. And so we realized we had to create, right, an additional income to reach those goals. And so as we begin to scan the horizon on the different opportunities that were out there, and I actually had some friends that were doing the same thing that I was doing, and they actually started purchasing some Subway franchises. And so they were doing the same profession we were. They realized the same thing. So they started buying some Subway franchises. And so I looked at that a little bit, but realized, man, that's a lot of work, right, for a really little gain. And then my next door neighbor was telling me that she was buying books at library sales for $10 and then selling them on Amazon for $100. So that's kind of how I first stalled the model and believed like, oh my goodness, you can scale on Amazon because they do all the shipping, right? You send your product in. It's very different from eBay. So with that kind of knowledge base, and we talk a lot about this, Nate, ultimately, whatever you do, especially I think when it comes to business, you have to believe that you're in the right vehicle, right, for the goals that you want to meet. That's Warren Buffett says that a lot, right? You have to look, are you in the right vehicle? So I saw that. I said, yeah, you know what? I think Amazon's the right vehicle. So did what a lot of Amazon sellers do when they first started out, started just purchasing random stuff, sold stuff around my house. And I remember when one of my first major buys, right? And so on Amazon, I was selling what you call a lot of onesie twosie products where you just buy one thing, right? Send it in, was the Mater bubble blower mowers. So Disney movie Cars was very popular at that time. This is like 2013. Mater was one of the cars in there. Boscov's is a department store in our area. I saw that there was an arbitrage opportunity. So I could buy these things for $15 and they were selling for like $70 on Amazon. So what I did is in my Toyota Prius, I went to all of these Boscovs regionally, every single one, and I bought up all of their Mater bubble blower mower inventory, loaded up my Prius, got it back in, shipped it in Amazon. And I forget how many I sold, like 400 to 500 of these Mater bubble blower mowers. And it profited me over $4,000. That was net profit. And so I knew right then, like, hey, look, this could be a great business model. So let's go ahead and start, going all in.